What's wrong with Michael?
I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand it. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, guys, y'all know that Michael Jackson was mentioned in the Epstein documents during the testimony of witness Johanna Sjoberg, one of Epstein's accusers who alleged she was treated inappropriately by British royal Prince Andrew. When Johanna was asked whether she met anyone famous at Epstein's personal residence in Palm Beach, she said that she had met Michael Jackson. Now, in the recent documents, Michael Jackson appears in undated photos found in Epstein's personal collection. One widely reported photo shows Michael Jackson with Bill Clinton and Diana Ross, and another shows him posing with Epstein in front of a painting. So the question is, what possibly could MJ have been doing at the place that was the hub of all the nasty things taking place? And maybe his name was just mentioned and there is no evidence of him actually doing anything, but have we forgotten the allegations that were also made against Michael Jackson? Or, stick with me, is it true that Michael was the one saving people from the island? Well, allegedly, Janet Jackson may have the answers to these questions.
I know my brother. He didn't have that in him.
All right, before we even talk about whether Michael was actually involved with Epstein or not, have y'all watched the clips from the new documentary about Michael Jackson? Apparently, the documentary features new recordings of Mike from 2000 and 2001, and in these tapes, he discusses his intense emotional attachment to young people in ways that critics describe as alarming.
If you told me right now that, Michael, you could never see another child, I would kill myself.
In addition, it reportedly also includes an interview with a former PR advisor who claims to have found an adult lifestyle magazine among Mike's belongings, and the advisor alleges the magazine contained advertisements for videos of inappropriate content involving young people that appeared to be marked for ordering. So, this documentary's release in 2026 coincided with the Department of Justice releasing photos of Mike at Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach home, and people are using this social circle context to suggest that Michael Jackson wasn't as clean as he claimed during his trial. Now, while Michael Jackson's estate and bodyguards have claimed he only visited Epstein to discuss buying a house in Palm Beach, some people still find the interaction a bit messy. I mean, first of all, Mike was a billionaire, or at least lived like one, and he could have used any number of high-end real estate agents to do the negotiations. For all we know, the real estate excuse could be a classic PR cover story used to explain why a celebrity was caught at a notorious location. Plus, there's literally a documentary where people like Wade Robson and James Safechuck accused MJ of doing things to them for years, beginning when they were respectively about 7 and 10 years old. In fact, before and even after his death in 2009, Michael Jackson was the subject of multiple accusations and police investigations, as well as civil and criminal lawsuits. So according to some people, we just can't assume that Michael was innocent. Of course, it doesn't help that there was an old interview that resurfaced in the wake of HBO's Leaving Neverland, in which LaToya was at a press conference telling reporters that she could not and would not be a silent collaborator of Michael's crimes. She even claimed that her mother had shown her checks in very, very large amounts that had been made out to the parents. Then she added that, as a survivor herself, she could not in good conscience keep silent about the behavior her brother was accused of. See, some people have also been saying that given how Mike grew up, they wouldn't be surprised if he's actually guilty of the things he's being accused of. I mean, the mistreatment that Michael received from his father, Joe Jackson, has long been reported by many people, including MJ himself. But the trauma Michael experienced apparently extended far beyond what you might have heard. In fact, someone like LaToya was pretty vocal about this, and other than saying that their dad used to physically and emotionally mistreat them when they were younger, LaToya also said that their dad continued manhandling Michael and his brothers even as adults. She even said that Joe even put his hands on Michael in the midst of the success of his iconic records Off the Wall and 1982's Thriller, Together, which is the biggest selling album of all time. Basically, while the world saw MJ up on the stage, accepting the awards and smiling, behind the scenes, his father was chasing him around the house, and MJ was running from him, terrified. Actually, Mike also talked about how their father treated him, saying that if they missed a step or a note during rehearsals, Joe would rough them up with the buckle end of a belt, or an electrical cord, or a tree branch he'd have them break off themselves in their backyard. He also said that his dad would call them names as part of his authoritarian hold over them, hence his obsession with plastic surgery to fix his nose later on. And one of the things that disturbed him was how his dad constantly told him that he was ugly. In addition, he also recalled being manhandled by his dad, saying his dad would use whatever was around, and at times he'd throw them against a wall as hard as he could. And apparently, even his mom got super scared at some point.
Remember hearing my mother scream, "Joe, you're gonna kill him, you're gonna kill him, stop it, you're gonna kill him."
Apparently, the situation at home was so bad that Michael even said that he had fainted at least once when his dad walked in the room because of how scared he was of him. And while recalling games he would play with his siblings, Michael said that he once told Janet to close her eyes and picture their father in a coffin. Then he asked Janet whether she felt sorry for him, and her answer was, nope. So yeah, based on this very traumatic upbringing, there are people who genuinely believe that Mike may have projected his trauma onto others. However, guys, there's another angle that has been making rounds, which is that it's possible that Neverland Ranch was intentionally designed by Michael as a fortress against the nasty nature of the industry. And Mike, having gone through what he went through, allegedly only wanted to create a safe space far from the Hollywood wrongdoers. The documentary even features testimony from former Neverland staff who claim Michael Jackson was obsessive about vetting the adults who came onto the property, fearing they were the real threat. And he actually said in a conversation which has been making rounds that people, not the government, were after him.
But I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could kill me. They could stab me. They could frame me and say I overdosing on drugs. They can do a lot of things.
Who could do this?
So, what if Michael Jackson's downfall was a preemptive move by those he was preparing to expose or defy? What if they actually used people like Oprah Winfrey to destroy Michael? Y'all remember Oprah Winfrey interviewed Michael Jackson at his Neverland Ranch in what became the most watched interview in television history? Ideally, that interview was supposed to address the rumors that were going on since the mid-1980s, like how people had speculated that MJ wanted to become white, that he wanted to become a woman, that he had bought Elephant Man's remains, that he slept in an oxygen chamber, that he suffered from an ED, that his best friend was a monkey, that the monkey was telepathic, that Michael was on the DL, and that he was a virgin, among other things. Well, the interview was supposed to improve MJ's public image, as he denied the tabloid rumors and opened up about his personal life. But rather than improving MJ's image, it became something else when Oprah started asking MJ very, very intrusive questions and also challenged his answers. Oprah questioned MJ about his changing appearance and asked him whether he had undergone cosmetic surgery, to which MJ admitted to having a nose job, but made it clear that he had not altered his face in any other way, and actually revealed that he had vitiligo. However, Oprah seemed skeptical of his explanation and continued pressing him for more details, and she interrupted him as if she didn't want him to explain why the color of his skin was different. Then, out of the blues, Oprah implied that he was lying or hiding something and tried to make him feel really uncomfortable. Now, as if that wasn't enough, Oprah proceeded to ask MJ about his friendships with young people and why he liked to spend time with them. And people just went with the assumption that maybe Michael was guilty all along, and maybe by framing his refuge as an unsafe place, his enemies could ensure he would never have the public standing to fight them again. Allegedly, this is also what Janet Jackson is trying to say, that her brother is being framed to look like the villain, while in real sense he was the protector.
My brother would never do something like that. But I'm still guilty by association.
Think about it. If Michael Jackson was at Epstein's house once or twice, but never appeared on flight logs or in little black books as a participant, was he actually participating or observing Epstein? I mean, the documentary hints that Michael Jackson may have been keeping tabs on certain powerful people, and that his presence in the Epstein photos was not as a guest, but as an outsider trying to understand a world he despised. So, maybe, just maybe, the real reason he was there was to gather enough information to expose what was going on. And because of this, they flipped the narrative to make him the villain and had him taken out for good. Does this make sense? Is it really possible that Michael was merely the protector, like Janet is allegedly saying? Honestly, this entire situation with Michael Jackson is still not clear, but I would love to know your thoughts, so sound off in the comments section below.